Tyler. We have Stepladder finals tonight. In the first match, Erin McCarthy looks for her first title of the year against Singapore's Shyna, each seeking their first career major. The winner takes on 15-time titles. Future Hall of Famer Shyna O'Keefe back on TV again. 2-seed Jordan Richard on TV for a second time this year, and for the second straight week, the top seed is tour star Danielle McHugh. CDB, it's time for a future for the sport oil pattern for tonight.
Well, this oil pattern was either fun for you or not fun for you. 38 feet, low volume of oil, 12 milliliters going forward, 6 back, a total of 18 milliliters of ice oil. Ice is known to carry down. The ladies had to begin starting around the track area, but had to get the ball to the right. There was absolutely no hold in the middle part of the lane. As they went from pair to pair, they opted to move in. Angles got steeper to get that ball back off the pattern. Now here's the unique factor about this pattern. The middle part of the lane became the tester pair to pair. As the oil started to carry down, the middle part of the lane became very tight. So your ball either went too long or hooked early. That's what made spares so important this week.
First match, McCarthy and Hung.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our number 5 seed from Elkhorn, Nebraska, Erin McCarthy.
A full-time nurse. Elkhorn, the Omaha area. Great college bowler at Nebraska. Busy lifestyle. Emergency room nurse, full-time. Sometimes works double shifts. Not a lot of time for bowling. But she's back on TV. Her game back in gear, and a little bit of a high shot for her first of the night. Leaves the 610.
I definitely think we're going to see a little bit of this until, of course, the lanes just start to transition, as it does every time a ball goes down the lane. Already playing deep. Again, we said we were going to see bowling balls that were maybe some strong balls, but not as much surface this week with such a low volume of oil. The ladies used less surface to get the ball through the front part of the lane.
Cross lane, 610, got there. And has a mark to begin her night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our number 4 seed from Singapore, Shyna.
Only on U.S. soil for a couple of weeks. Came for the Long Island Classic Series at 2 events in Rockville Center. Teammate Sherry Tan was a winner there. She'll try to win here for Team Singapore tonight. It's very high as well. The 6-9-10 left on Shayna's first shot of the night.
Shyna taking a little bit of a deep breath after that shot. One of the things she has really worked on is being softer at the bottom. Her natural game is to hit up on it, actually kind of grab it just a little bit and hit up on it. And she said she was getting a bad read on the lane. She had to be smoother and cleaner.
Covers nicely, has a spare. The last thing you want early in a match is an open.
So let's take a look. She takes 5 steps. She works on really getting the ball into her swing right here, which is fantastic. She has worked on that. But right here, go one more click on this fourth step. Go right here as she's getting into her 4th step. Her swing gets really high and really steep. When it gets too steep, that's when she really pulls down on it and hits up on it on the end.
1, 2, 8, 10, wash up. Tough leave on the left line.
Gets this one way right. Remember, I spoke about the oil pattern. That middle part of the lane became the most important part of the lane. If you got it too far right, at times it would not hook back, and at times if you missed left, it hooked early. It depended on what pair you were on. That's how different they were lane to lane.
Not easy cover. Converts! How about that? Shyna Ung, 1, 2, 8, 10. Not easy. And early on, it's the Cisco spare of the game. CDB, no doubt about that. Fantastic effort.
Look at this. Takes her hand out of it, hits to the left side of the headpin, slides it right over.
Confidence builder. Has to be for Shyna. Tough lead, tough spare. Converts. Here's Erin, right lane. Got to really hurry. It does. And a good shot. Leaves a 10 pin.
Fantastic shot by Erin. Both of these ladies like to hook a ball. And let me tell you, they are very similar. When they did hook it, they get on the side of it just a little bit. But you can see here, Erin is way behind that ball. We talked about that, how they want to even out. Right here where that ball starts to enter this pocket, you're going to see a smooth motion. And that's what the ladies looked for. When they got into trouble and felt uncomfortable, the smoother the motion, the better.
Cross lane, single pin spare conversion, has a 10 pin, no problem there. Left lane for Erin. Looks good. Great match play record. 56 games, this long, grueling format. And a perfect shot in the right lane for Shyna Ung.
And that shot, compared to her last two, her swing got to the top, came down much smoother, much quicker off her hand. Watch that, right behind it, fires through it, but look at the motion. Again, this spot seems to be where the ladies are trying to get their ball to for that smooth motion. And watch this, it just, everybody said it last night, I wanted my ball to stop as much as possible, and that was perfect.
2 career titles, 2018 Las Vegas Open, 2019 in Roanoke Park, California. So it's been a while. 2-10 split, and a tough break there with a 4-10.
The ball she was using on the right lane and the ball she used on her last shot revs up just a little bit sooner. And she pays, honestly, that I thought would be a 4-pin. That's a high 4-pin. She pays the ultimate price, leaving the 4-10.
You saw the washout conversion. Got it! How about that? Shyna Ung, not 1 but 2 fantastic conversions. The 4-10 this time to stay clean in match number 1. Fabulous.
Look at this. Does exactly what she needs to do. Hits to the left of the 4-pin and slides it over like it had eyes.
Man. I mean, we are seeing some amazing spare shooting. All 5 bowlers we talked to today said the spare conversions on this very tough pattern. Won a 4th U.S. Open this year. It is a grueling grind to get this far. Right lane for Erin. Wants it to hook. Doesn't quite hook enough. It needs a 2-pin.
And you heard her say that as soon as she let the ball go. She said, hook. Again, she got it way right. Let's take a look right here. She gets it going right a little bit earlier. And here, the spot they're looking for is about right here. This is way out around that 5-6 board. And it just does not come back as strong as it did the last time. But again, here's what the ladies were saying last night. Even on the bad shots, if you could leave a 2-pin, it was spareable. It was a makeable spare. And you wanted to manage those games and have the 180s, 190s. You still had a chance to win the match. And those bonus pins were crucial this week.
3 times last year, Erin did make championship round appearances. 4th place, all 3. The Bowlers Journal Classic, ITRC Classic, and the Twin Cities Open. 9th time in her career she's been in the championship round. Saw the win probability at this point, but it's anyone's match. Perfect location, left lane. Crunches the 1-3 pocket. And McCarthy with a big shot. Tonight, 10 Eastern, it's a star-studded WNBA showdown as Candace Parker and the Sky go head-to-head against Asia Wilson and the Aces. Watch it here on CBS Sports Network. Hoops on the way later tonight. Imagine the confidence, CB, that Shayna's got with those 2 fantastic conversions.
She's staying right in the match. I mean,
could be.
Changes everything.
Could be way behind at this point. Works on a spare pin frame. No help on the 9-pin.
Looks like she got that shot in just a little bit. Wasn't as clean as the previous shot on that lane. But again, ball stopped exactly where she wanted it to. Goes just a little bit high. Didn't quite get it as far right. Leaves the solid 9.
She and Team Singapore coming over Direct flight, 19 hours, she told us today. From her home city to JFK Airport. I mean, you've flown all over the world. 19 hours, that's a long one. That's a long ride. You asked her today, do you watch a lot of movies? She said, no, I slept the whole time. Slept for 19 hours. And at least you'd land well rested in New York, right?
Yeah, it was 22 when I went, and it wasn't direct.
First time on TV, first week in the U.S. for Team Singapore. We mentioned teammate, the lefty Sherry Tan, already a winner on tour this year. Long Island Classic, part of the trifecta of events on the island last week. Works on a spare, 6th frame, misses the target.
This is where you're going to see the lanes get a little tricky, right? They said it didn't take very long. They didn't have a lot of practice on the TV pair. You know, it's paced where we don't want to burn up the lanes too much, so we've changed a little bit of the practice. But right here, you can see that ball was a little bit more inside, but that's that middle part of the lane that was so tricky from lane to lane, not just pair to pair. You had to have steeper angles, but make sure the ball read that middle part of the lane.
Unusual 2-5 leave. But for Shyna, that should be a piece of cake with her conversions we've seen so far tonight. Fantastic spare shooter. All bowlers unanimous today in our meetings with them how important it would be to cover spares, no matter how difficult. We're underway, match 1. U.S. Women's Open from South Glens Falls, New York. 2 great spares, CDB for Shyna. Just fantastic to watch. First, the washout.
Hits the left side of the hen pin, perfect. Same thing, left side, slides it right over like it had eyes.
Those were huge because Erin has been playing on these very tough lane conditions tonight. She misses both. She might be out of this match. Instead, it's neck and neck. Out of the break, Erin McCarthy to spawn, looking for help. 9-pin, come on.
Great shot by Erin, especially coming out of that commercial break. One of the other factors that the ladies were talking to me about last night was ball speed. So when that ball was going too long to the middle part of the lane, instead of moving, they slowed up their ball speed to get the ball to read. And it looks like she did that on that shot. Great shot. Almost taps out the 9.
No problem, has that single pin spare conversion. Doubling the 10th during match play here last night. That's what you needed to knock off another star from Team Singapore, Sherry Tan, to make her 3rd appearance on the U.S. Open TV show. Talked about the pair of 3rd place finishes so far. That changes tonight. Erin told us today that double to make the show was one of the highlights of her career. Pressure, clutch. Came through. Left lane here for her. Almost crosses over to a Brooklyn strike and 76-9-10 stand.
Yeah, she didn't like that one when she let it go. I can see in her setup, she seems to be holding the ball just a little bit lower. Definitely did not get this ball to the right. You can see, definitely, and I'm looking too, because we do this when we don't have the tracers. We have the little dark board down there. It was to the left of it instead of to the right of it. Every time she's gotten it to the right, it's been a better shot.
Watch out, and an open frame, tough time, 6-10 stand, game changer. Just like that, Shyna on the bench is up by 9 pins. Well, Erin said the double in the 10th was the most nerve-wracking moment of her career. This was last night. She faces another major challenge in the opening match here tonight. Hung works on a spare 7th frame, ringing 10-pin, really nice shot.
Fantastic shot by Shyna, and I always like watching the shots, especially when they've been sitting a while. But right here, look at, she drops it so smooth and it comes right through, lofting it out just a little bit, but much cleaner out of her hands underneath it, just a little bit more. And right here, that smooth motion. Now, as they were trying to get their ball to stop, they said last night, you know, we left a lot of ring 10s, but again, the key was spareable.
Got that. Just enough of a 10-pin. which, with the other amazing splits and conversions she's had tonight, would seemingly be easy. But you're right, that's the spareable shot. And filling frames with spare, staying clean is the biggest key. This is a grinded out, really tough slugfest type condition.
The U.S. Open is always one of the toughest events of the year, and if you watch the scores from round to round, and then of course in match play, you're going to see that the scores go up and down.
Works out spare, and the 6-10 stand on the left lane. One strike for Shyna so far in the match.
Shyna went back to the ball she originally started with. Saw Matt McNeil go over and talk to her during the break. This left lane seems to be the lane that's switching up the match just a little bit.
Second appearance U.S. Open show for Shyna. She finished third in 2016. As we talked about, seeking her first major tonight. Has the 6-10, has her mark, and now it's about staying clean this late in the match, but just 6 pins separate these two. Longtime member of Team Singapore, amazing accolades for Shyna, 2-time Singapore Sportswoman of the Year. Shannon O'Keefe is back on TV again. What a season for the points leader on the women's tour, which at this point puts Shannon in the lead for Player of the Year for a third time. McCarthy, big strike right lane, needed that badly. It is so coveted. The green jacket, the huge prize fund, it's the largest on tour this year. $60,000 to the winner. In another close match. Foundation frame. Got all 10 down.
Definitely trusted that one. Actually looked like she moved a little bit deeper. Right here crossing at the arrows about 13, 14.
Can it be a double?
Comes in.
It's our first double
Amazing.
match for either. She's been outstanding in close matches. Ninth frame. Shyna Ung for the response. Got it.
If you notice on this right lane, both Shyna and Erin were a little bit more direct, a little more ball speed. Now, what I was hearing, you're going to watch this right here. We're going to get into about 16, 17, not getting it right of about 10. High flush, but they were saying they felt like the right lanes were tighter and developed a little more hold quicker than the left lane. But again, you could go to the next pair and it could be the direct opposite.
It's been that tough. Long, challenging, grueling grind to get this far. 10th frame. Looking for the lead, leaves a 10 pin instead. First match is going to go right down to the wire.
Another good shot, and again, you had to decide off of these shots right here where this is a little bit of that flat 10. Do I just want to slow up the ball just a little bit, which was the safer thing to do, because everyone was saying once you came around the ball just a little bit, it overreacted down lane.
Oh my goodness. It didn't fall. Shocking miss in the 10th. Disastrous error for Shyna Ung. Trying to fill out the 10th frame. And now Erin McCarthy on the bench sees an incredible break.
And you very rarely see that because the Singapore team is very, very disciplined. They practice, they live together, they travel together. Very unfortunate. Good for Erin, bad for Shyna.
9 pins, that's all she needs now. For the win. Got 10, got the victory in match number 1. And Erin McCarthy will advance to take on Shannon O'Keefe. After the incredible conversions earlier in the match from Shyna Ung before the commercial break of 2 fantastic spares, The single pin spare conversion does her in the 10th frame. Amazing.
And like we see on so many weeks, Erin will be trying a different ball to see what type of look she has. She moved a little bit deeper, got that one further right, kicks back to 10, looks great.
The emergency and ICU nurse in Omaha, Nebraska, also, as we can see, a fantastic bowler. Quite a career for Erin McCarthy, and she is through to the next round to take on Shannon O'Keefe, who bids for a second title in 2022. What a match. What conversions of splits from Shyna Ung, but in the end, a missed 10-pin, and McCarthy advances.